I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots, and a sexy.
But either way, I lost the segue into our main topic. So it's like, I'll just take that segue and pretend I put it here.
Did we?
Huh? Yeah.
But did we really lose the segue?
Yes, we absolutely lost the segue. I had a perfect
segue, like literally like 20 minutes ago. And
yeah,
then
I
we
did
just went off.
I did a really good fucking segue. That was fucking awesome.
I'm pretty sure all the listeners think we're mentally deranged, so it's going to work out as a segue.
What's this wee shit?
You're the one talking about fist and starfish a second ago, so.
No, I think I was referring to Joe.
That was definitely me.
Yeah, I was talking about Joe.
Either
way, that still works, I guess. I'll just make it happen. I'll just force it at this point. Either way, Hollywood has some fucked up people in it.
Yep.
Okay, so
I don't follow like celebrity stuff. Like I was never into like reality shows or like celebrity worship kind of thing. Like I've seen many like stars IRL in real life where I just walk by and like I don't care.
I love that you spelled out IRL. Like you said,
yeah, man, I'm a fucking boomer zoomer, bro. I speak in goddamn
text message
acronyms, bro.
BRB, bro. But
Ruffle, bro.
Yes. So I did want to have that discussion about kind of some mental illness issues that seem to really be cropping up in public, at least for celebrities. And there's an odd tie-in, at least in this discussion, because you guys talked about Ezra Miller a few weeks ago on Nerd Rage, how he had been arrested in
it's still
somewhere.
Going
it's still going, which is insane. So
he just got in trouble again.
Yes, so he got arrested again for assaulting someone in public. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Can't stop, won't stop, bro.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of shit going on with yeah. So he's got something going on, either whether it's a rage problem or something's going on in his head. But like the strange part about it is that he somehow, even though it's been a continuous problem, has managed to escape losing his job on any
Okay, so
movies
real quick
currently.
before you get too far into it,
yeah,
they them.
I'm not playing pronoun games. I'm just gonna talk like a person. It's like, it's not out of disrespect. I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just, I'm not going to sit here and play the games.
Okay.
Like I said, it's like, I'm just going to talk. If I don't do
like,
it right, it's not on purpose.
Yeah. It's acknowledging their preferred pronoun or whatever, but like realizing that we've raised for like 40 years saying one way that's hard to,
yes.
Yeah.
It's very hard.
I have a hard time with it because we have a member of my staff.
Yeah. And I'm not
transgender and goes by they them, and I refer to him as him.
Yeah.
And one of the other ladies that we work with refuses to, says her and she, and they got into it one day in the kitchen.
Oh.
And my coworker took me to the side and they said, I appreciate you at least saying he, him, and trying to be respectful. I'm like, yeah, because it's not I don't disrespect you with the they, them.
Yeah.
I'm not used to it. I said, you present a certain way. You have told me it's a certain way. I respect that.
Yes.
And
that's what I said. Yeah.
That's what I said.
The rest of it, I just get confused because next, they're going to add something else, and I'll be all kinds of messed up. I can meet you halfway. As long as you want to meet me halfway, we'll live happy in this world.
And I think intentions matter, right? Because you intend to be respectful. You don't intend to disregard or be offensive, right?
Yeah,
I think that matters.
I'm not trying to. Well, one, they and them is awkward in and of itself. He and she, I can get around that. That's not a problem. It's the quote unquote non-binary part.
It's the way our language is set up as a problem. Like English is, it's not as much a problem in other languages. Like in Cantonese or in Chinese, like and the spoken way anyway of like we don't have a he, him, she, her. It's like it's the same word. It's like they, them. Like we have a gender neutral term to use. And like same with like we don't have mankind, we have like humankind. We just have gender neutral words that are natural to our language. And then, I understand why it's harder in English sometimes because especially like I don't speak Spanish or know Spanish, but I know that everything is fucking gendered in Spanish, right? Like tables and chairs and shit.
It's all the Romance languages. All the Romance languages are based that way.
Latin-based languages.
I blame it on a language barrier more so than like it. Like I try to. I assume it's a language barrier before I assume someone's trying to be offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
usually you can tell too with the intent. You can usually tell with the intent. I was just putting it on here in case somebody heard it that they wouldn't take offense because
we're not. That, actually, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well,
we're not trying to be offensive.
Yeah. Well, see, on the, I don't want to say the opposite end. On the on my end, I'll just say it this way. Like I said, I'm not intending to be offensive, but I also don't care if I fuck it up.
Yes.
It's like, because if I was doing it on purpose, that's another thing. If I'm refusing you to a certain way, that's another thing. I'm going to be as respectful as I can, as long as you're as respectful as you can be to me on the other side. But if I just if I don't say it because I don't think about it, then I'm not doing it on purpose. So I just want it to be that way.
I'm old soft trash and I was raised a certain way and it's he or she, and I'm at least willing to move past that barrier of being older where we were taught to think a certain way to go with, okay, you're he because that's what you're telling me and I'm good with that. Okay. And at the end of the day, you can be he, she, him, her, they, them, it, itself, whatever. If you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. If you're a good person, you're a good person. And that's all my real requirements are for this is be decent. If I'm okay with my kids talking to you, then you're a decent person. If I'm not okay with it, then you're not. And I don't give a fuck what you call yourself at that point.
And like I said, not to be offensive, he and she, or just if you are trans and you're literally one side or the other, that's a much easier thing for people to grasp, especially if you present, or at least that's so much easier when it's somebody who declares to be non-binary, and then you start doing
you can't tell they, by them. There's no physical cue.
There's nothing, especially when it's a fresh thing. He hasn't always see. Once again, I'm not doing it on purpose, but it's just one way to do it. It's like I don't think
he's been doing it for a while.
Yes, but Ezra has not always done it, and he has. I'm not going to try to avoid it. I'm just going to talk. You know, it's like when it becomes a newer situation, especially if it's a public thing. Like, so if in private, he, they, them has always said, I'm this way, but only in public, it finally came out that it presents a different way. You know, that's fine. It's just something that normal people have to get used to, or just aren't comfortable. I don't want to say comfortable, but you know, it's hard to restructure your language. Yes. You know, it's literally learning a different language, but it's
a whole complete thought pattern. Like it's not like language really dictates your thought patterns.
Yes. So
like it's I'm kind of proud of our generation. I know it's gonna sound dumb, but like when we were younger, if something was dumb or goofy or something, you'd say that's so
gay.
The G word that means happy.
Yeah, and we should say that.
And I think on the whole, at our generational level, have gotten past the point of saying that in that direction. Like
like it sounds weird. Like I remember when it was normal, but when, if I hear someone say that, like that, I'm like, that's fucking cringe as shit. Because
you know what's really funny? Just on that subject, I've heard a gay person use it that way.
Yep.
Well, in the exact same manner. I've heard a gay person literally go, "That's gay," and I was like, and I looked at him like, "What?" And I was like,
I had a gay friend in Tampa. His name was Ian, and he broke it down for me because I heard him say in terms, and this is back in the late 90s, so this was still very early on for this being normalized in our world. And he had broke it down to me. Like they say the F word, they say the G word, you know, they say the H word. Like they say them all, but it means a different thing to them. Like they use it in a derogatory term, certain versions of it, and they mean it in that way.
What
you know?
I'm lost on what the H word is.
Short for homosexual. So
okay, that was just completely. I'm like, what?
Like the beginning part of Homo sapien. Okay, like
I think you can technically say the word because you're not directing it to anybody.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say. I don't want to. I don't want to get that.
I'm going to just say this: just saying a word does not give it intent.
No.
So you can say a word without using it in the same manner.
Yeah.
Well, he's broke it all down to me like even like, okay, this is a derogatory term, I think even still, but like calling somebody a fairy or something.
Except for the people who actually identify as.
Yeah, but even if they don't identify that, if they're in the LGBTQ, the rest of it, no offense, I just don't remember it all.
LGBTQIA plus.
Okay, that.
Sorry, I missed an A. I missed one A.
If they're in that community, they use those same terms too, and they mean it in the same way. Like a homosexual male who is just from the outside, us looking in, you wouldn't know it. He's not advertising that he's gay. He just is. Right. Well, if you have the stereotypical flamboyant homosexual male that you see at like some of the pride parades and stuff, he would refer to that person as a fairy because they're over the top. Like,
well, I think we all recognize there is a variance.
Mm-hmm.
And the word spectrum gets used way too often. I'm just going to use the word variance there. Yeah. Well, it's also it's the same thing as racial slurs. Not to go there, but like there's certain levels to that too. Like there's, and I'm not going to use any in particular, but even within their own communities, they'll use the same racial slurs other people use at different levels to refer to the severity of. We'll just say it that way. And and they establish there's a difference between this and this because of this. Like while it comes across as offensive to some people, but when the same, if you're talking about LGBTQ people or if you're talking about any particular race, it's funny how it's all it's language. Let's just be honest here, but it's how it's a social construct, and even within the things, whereas from the outside we'll say, okay, well this is offensive or wrong in this way, so we got to stop doing this, but then they're also doing the exact same thing even on their level, and even to them they don't take offense to it the same way that we assume everyone else does. So that's what's really funny about it.
I think like I was in debate club in high school, and I was raised by my mother Jewish from my mom's side. And we were having this debate, and race got brought up. And I brought up, I was like, how come, this was like 96, 97. I was like, how come it's okay for the N-word to be thrown around so willy-nilly in like rap songs and even amongst your peers? There was an African-American lady who was on our team, and we were like having like an open debate discussion just like for practice. And I asked her, I was like, point blank, I was like, how come that's okay? But if I'm rapping along with a song and that's the lyric, I have to edit myself or I'm a racist. How come it's okay for it to be said?
That's a deep question.
She went into the whole, and I get the thought process, but she went into the whole, we're taking power back from the word. That word was used in a very derogatory and demeaning way towards our people. So if we use it as an everyday word like tree or car, or it doesn't have that power anymore. And I said, okay, but if you're using it to take away that power, then wouldn't me saying that lyric be doing the same thing? Because I'm not using it in a derogatory term. I'm not using it in a demeaning way.
You're not
I'm just using the word like I'm just using it as an everyday word, like you're saying it's supposed to be treated as. And she said, well, then it becomes a cultural issue. And I said, okay, let me stop you right there. I said, I am Jewish. At the time I was practicing because I went to synagogue still when I was younger because I didn't have a choice. Yeah. And I told her, I was like, look, I said, in my culture, the N-word for us is it's kike. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, if another Jewish, well, I can because I'm Jewish. You can't.
Sure, so, why can't I?
Because I can drive to Texas and kick your ass. But,
but I'm not going to call you that. But I can say the word.
Yeah, no, I'm just messing with you, dude.
And I'm not going to lie. But, just side note, I knew that word growing up, but I actually didn't know who or what it referred to.
Oh, really? Wow.
Well, no, because I heard a lot of these words from my friend's dad out of context. Obviously, some of them I knew, but it was like some of them I was just like, I don't know who or what they're referring to. Like I literally have only met 2 Jewish people in my entire life, so I would never put those dots together.
You can make it 3. You can make it 3. You're rounding out your life over there, Shoki.
Well, I haven't actually met you.
My comment to her was, if another Jewish guy, I mean, he could be the most stereotypical. He could be a Hasidic Jew with his payas and his black hat and his black coat, straight out of New York City, walks up to me and said, "What's up, my kike?" I would drop him where he stands at. I would just put him on his ass.
It would be hilarious if they. No offense. It would be hilarious if it was the same as the N-word.
I got you. But
it would actually be hilarious.
To me, I said, this is why I said how I felt about it was, the Holocaust and stuff. This was a term that was used as my people were gassed and stuff into ovens and murdered by the millions. This is a very disgusting word. I said, and to me, from my point of view, sitting over here with my light skin and not living your life or in your culture, I said, to me, I'd be spitting on my ancestors who died under the negativity of that word by saying it like it's not something. That word does have power, and it was something nasty and evil. And your great-great-grandmother or your great-great-grandfather or a cousin or somebody might have died while those were the last words that they heard being shouted in their face. And to me, you're dishonoring what happened to them by just acting like that word means nothing. And like my debate teacher, she stopped it. She's like, it's not that anybody's saying anything wrong. She's like, we'll never be able to move past this to a point of agreement.
No, it's too emotionally charged, and like emotions aren't rational, and you cannot you can try as much as you can, but you cannot out rationalize emotions.
Yes,
exactly. And so she stopped it, and me and the girl, her name was, I want to say Crystal. Like, we talked for hours and hours that day after debate class, and even throughout the rest of the year, we'd sit down and talk and stuff. And like, we had a great friendship, and I liked the fact that we were able to talk and not hold it against each other in a disgusting kind of way or anything. But even still, by the end of the year, her and I never saw eye to eye on it. And to this day, I still catch myself. I don't do the whole turning it down like the beginning of Office Space. But if I'm like listening to DMX and I'm just going along and people start pulling up next to me, I live in the South. I live in Florida. I have a country accent, which, by the way, I never realized until I tried to listen back to our podcast how fucking gross my country accent is.
Yep.
But like,
I'm from Texas and I don't have an accent compared to you.
A 6'4" white dude in Florida, DMX is on, and people pull up next to me at a light. I look to see who's in the car before I keep singing along with DMX. Like, I'll look, and if it's somebody that is not white, I will kind of just.
See,
I won't turn it down.
I'm just going to assume that the people in the other car are also going to enjoy said music.
Now, I'm going to tell you, ironically enough, this is funny. My wife and I just went out. I was supposed to go get a tattoo yesterday. I'm getting a cover-up done, and I had to go down to the tattoo shop.
Is that over there on your left arm?
Yeah. Unfortunately, the whiteout that she put on, because I went a couple weeks ago, and she went over the old tattoo.
Yeah, I saw that earlier on camera. I was going to ask you.
But it's in 2 spots. It's still kind of rough, so she couldn't tattoo it, so I couldn't get it done yesterday. But we were driving there, and I just had my Spotify playlist on. I made a rap list on there, and that I want to be a baller by Lil Troy came on, and we pulled up to a light, and you know what song I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're at the
light. I'm from Houston.
And,
I'm very much aware.
Okay, so we're at the light, and my wife and I are just saying, well, we're enjoying ourselves, and cars pull up next to us, and I just look over, and they looked like one had like a Hispanic dude in the driver's seat, and he just started nodding his head when he heard the music, because I listen to my music loud as shit in my car. And then I looked to the other side, and these 2 black ladies are in their car. They looked over and they looked at me, and they just kind of smiled, and then they started nodding their head. And before you know it, we were all singing along to the song at the stoplight. And I'm like, look at this fucking growth we have here as a society. Like, a white dude, 2 black people, and a Spanish dude all just sing along with a rap song. Don't know each other, never seen them before in my life. At a stoplight, enjoyed our moment, moved along about our day, and nothing bad happened.
Beautiful.
Like, that's pretty cool.
That's the way it should be.
That's pretty cool to me.
And nobody cared if or when the N-word may have been used in that song.
It's actually not used.
Actually, I was going to say, I grew up on the edited version, so I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think it has it in that song.
I don't think so. I really don't think it does.
But my DMX, on the other hand, dude, every other word
that's
out of his
DMX,
mouth.
though. Yeah, that's right. Also, I had the edited version of that. You know.
Oh, you poor.
Wow, how do you even? Hello,
dude,
how do you even?
I didn't. I bought it at Walmart. What do you expect?
I know, but like how? Like, I'm trying to fathom what that even sounds like.
It sounds like a lot of pauses. Is what it sounds like.
He does a lot of dog barking.
It's not. Like, it's not that I've never heard the unedited version. It's that I owned the edited version.
I'm just surprised that they were able to make an edited version.
Dude, they would edit everything.
It's like everything had. He had they used the dog barking. I remember that.
Yeah, that's right. They would just bark over it as a bleep. That's right. That's right.
But
because you got to think there were radio edits for that, and that's basically what I heard. So yeah, totally different.
So I'm surprised you didn't do the FYE scam. Like I used to do that. I'd have like my mom or my grandma buy me the CD at Walmart, and then I would swap it with the CD at FYE.
No, see, I was a good kid. I didn't do that kind of shit.
Oh, boo.
I mean, I'd probably do it now, but there's no FYEs around here.
Like, no, like literally, not like I would steal it. I would buy the one from FYE, swap the discs, and then return the one to Walmart and get my money back.
Yeah, exactly. That's too much effort. I don't do that shit if it's an actual mistake. I'll just buy the replacement shit. All right, so back on topic slightly.
That was fun.
That's a good side tangent though. That might be.
I enjoyed it.
That might be an extra. I might pull that as an extra just for fun.
We're gonna have 15 bonuses this week. We
15 bonuses this week. Yep. Well, I sent Joe the top 5 to listen to if he had time.
Nice.
Whether or not he did. So they managed to do top 5s in like 20 minutes. We did a top 5 in like an hour and 10 because it just kept going. These motherfuckers adding.
In our defense too, that y'all's top 5 sound like y'all had like pre-planned. Hey, look, this is what we're going to talk about. Y'all showed up with your list ready to go.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, you sent us
the proper way.
Yeah, you sent us a thing like an hour before recording. You're like, we're going to do the top 5 on Sci-Fi today. I'm like, what the fuck?
Except for the fact I brought it up like fucking 4 days before that and nobody responded.
You mentioned it. You didn't say that's what we were doing.
I literally said that's what we're doing.
Second position, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, put your foot down. Like, this is it.
It's like no. I said we were going to do that, and nobody replied to it, and then I brought it back up again, and so you guys started.
Like when we were doing our volume checks and stuff, I was literally making up my top 5 list while we were doing our balances.
So he had almost no time to do that, but either way,
I still came up with that list and blew their minds on my answers.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you for remembering old shit.
For that.
For old shit.
A bunch of fake ass sci-fi fans.
Yeah. Originally I was going to ask Joe just real quick what his top 5 sci-fi shows were, but we ain't got time for all that.
Sure we do. Top 5 live action TV shows, sci-fis to the best of your ability. Go for it, Joe.
TV shows?
TV shows.
Or
shows,
movies?
Non-animated, just shows.
No cartoons, no movies, just shows.
Next Generation, for sure.
Gotcha.
Fucking The Mantis, I remembered a lot.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's another good one.
Briscoe County Jr., does that count?
Yes.
It had that fucking space ball in it. It has like a sci-fi like alien fucking.
I don't know what that is, but I'll say yes.
You don't know what Briscoe County Jr. is? Bro, please.
Never heard of it.
With Bruce Campbell, where he was like,
exactly.
MacGyver?
Literally never heard of it.
Oh my god!
Send me a link. Send me a link and I'll check it out.
I'll find it.
I've never heard of it.
It is a great fucking show.
All right, 2 more, Joe.
Fucking. The Expanse. It's number 1 by fucking far. By goddamn far.
See, I haven't watched it yet, or else it would be on my list.
It's fucking amazing. It's the best. It's the best.
Okay.
Nothing comes even close.
Okay, so that'll be your top 1. We need 1 more.
Sci-fi. I don't know. Fucking X-Files.
There you go.
X-Files.
Someone finally threw out X-Files. We talked about it earlier. Nobody said X-Files, and then we talked.
X-Files.
There we go. Joe got X-Files.
And the best part about our top 5s of the 3 of us coming up with top 5s, the only time they overlapped was him and Mike said Doctor Who was their number 1.
Yeah. Huh. Well, we both said Firefly. We both said Firefly.
Not at the same spot.
No. He put Firefly at a fucking mention. I put it at number 2.
Yeah.
It just means more to me. I'm more of a brown coat than Mike.
No, you're a brown
fucking
something.
Canadians.
Brown pants, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it.
You're the brown pants.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats.